In my never-ending quest to find the perfect smartphone under $300, I quickly turned to the Moto G5 Plus, which was just released. Hi, my name's Andrew, and this is the review of the Moto G5 Plus from Motorola. Let's find out if it's worth your money. Paying $300 or less for a smartphone no longer means you have a compromised experience. Wanting to compete with a higher priced competition, Moto released the G5 Plus. Were they able to pull it off? Let's find out. Pricing starts at $299, but if you have an Amazon Prime membership and you don't mind the lock screen advertisements, you can get it for $239, and that's exactly what I did. Powering this bad boy is a Snapdragon 625 CPU, and it has the Adreno 506 GPU. It's got 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of onboard storage. Now, the device comes fully unlocked and works with all major carriers in the United States. That's AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, and I was able to use it with Google's Project Fi. Despite being a budget phone, this has a very nice 5.2-inch Full HD display with a resolution of 1920 by 1080. That's 424 pixels per inch, and it gets super bright at 591 nits, making it great for outdoor visibility. And colors are accurate at 106% sRGB. To me, at 5.2 inches, 1080p is the perfect resolution. It doesn't use too much power, and it's pretty sharp in its own right. At 5.47 ounces, it's comfortable to hold, and its all-metal design is really pleasing to the eye. Now, they did have to make some compromises, one being that it uses the old standard of micro USB to charge the device, not the more forward-thinking USB Type-C. On the top of the device, you'll find your SIM tray, which also houses the expandable storage via the microSD card slot. And of course, you get a 3.5mm headphone jack, something you don't get with the iPhone. On the right side of the device, you have your power button along with your volume rocker up and down. There are no ports or buttons on the left-hand side of the device. And like the Galaxy S7, there's a fingerprint sensor on the front of the device, and it worked very well and registered my finger pretty much every time I used it. And you have gesture controls that allow you to use swipes across the fingerprint scanner instead of the soft key. Swipe left for back, right for the recent app screen, and a long press for the Google Assistant. Now, the rear camera sports a 12 megapixel shooter. It's at 1.7 aperture, and it also has auto HDR. Now, as far as video is concerned, it shoots 4K at 30 frames per second. Now, I was pretty impressed with the camera in the terms of image stabilization. As you can see, it's pretty steady as I'm taking this 4K video. And as you can see, it's not the greatest in low light situations, but although this is not the most ideal lighting situation. In the proper lighting situation, actually the photos came out pretty good, as you can see here. Now, there's a front-facing camera that's a 5 megapixel shooter. It's f2.2, and it has full HD video resolution. This is the front-facing camera on the Moto G5 Plus. As you can see, it's not bad. I'm pretty impressed overall with both the rear-facing and front-facing camera. The rear-facing camera is a 12 megapixel shooter. This is 5 megapixels. Not bad. There is one speaker on this device, and it's located in the front-facing earpiece. Let's hear it in action.
Hi, my name's Andrew, and this is the review of the Galaxy Tab S3. It's the all-new premium tablet from Samsung, and also a very expensive tablet. Let's find out if it's worth your money. Not to be outdone by Apple, Samsung recently released.
For a budget phone, this has a very good sound, and I was really impressed by the volume and the richness of the sound coming out of that mono speaker from the earpiece. Overall, I say they did a very good job on the sound of this device. Now, you also get the turbocharge adapter, which supports quick charge, and it charges the device very quickly. Battery is where the G5 Plus really shines. On the battery life test with Wi-Fi browsing at 200 nits, it did about 12.5 hours. A really superb figure indeed. The Moto G5 Plus is able to get those figures due to its 3000 milliampere battery, the fact it uses a Snapdragon 625 CPU, and it has a lower resolution display than, say, the Galaxy S7, which uses a QHD display. What really surprised me was how well it did on performance. On the Geekbench 4 test, it did a 3746. The category average is only 3299. And under the 3D Mark Ice Storm Unlimited test, it did a 13,862, a pretty decent figure indeed. Performance is snappy, the OS is fluid, and it's running Android Nougat 7.0, and hopefully there will be updates coming down the pike. So, at the end of the day, can I recommend the Moto G5 Plus? Is it worth your hard-earned money? And the answer is absolutely. So far, this is the best budget smartphone of 2017. First, here's what I like about the G5 Plus. I like its solid build with its metal design. I like its bright, crisp, Full HD display, solid CPU performance. I like its price at $239. If you don't mind the lock screen ads, it really is a good deal for your Amazon Prime subscription. And I like the fact that it has expandable storage via the microSD card slot, a very versatile fingerprint reader that lets you use the swipe gestures. It comes with stock Android experience running Nougat 7.0. Its impressive speaker for a budget phone really blew me away. And I like the fact that the camera really performed well, especially at this low price. And unlike some other budget phones in this category, it works on all major US carriers right out of the box, always a nice touch. And it has stellar battery life, which is always good to see on any device, budget or high-end. But as with any device, there are going to be things that need improvement. Here's where I think they can improve in the next iteration. I would have liked to have seen a USB Type-C to charge this device, not the old micro USB port standard. And it doesn't have NFC, so forget about any Android Pay option. And the smaller display than some of its budget competitors might turn some off, but to me, 5.2 inches might be the perfect size in terms of one-hand usability. But with those few negatives aside, I have to say this checks all the boxes you'd want in a budget smartphone. It's got a bright, Full HD, crisp display, it's got good performance, solid build in its metal design, and it's got epic battery life. Everything you'd want in a sub-$300 smartphone. And that's why I'm going to give it the AMDtech Editor's Choice for the sub-$300 budget smartphone category, making this definitely worth your money. So what do you think about the Moto G5 Plus? Do you think it checks all the boxes that you want in a budget smartphone? I think it does. It hits all the right points. It's got a nice bright Full HD display, a nice metal build, good solid design. I like its battery life and I like its performance. And the camera really surprised me as well. For a budget smartphone, it had a really good camera. Despite some reports out there saying the contrary, I think this camera did work well. Of course, with any camera in a low light situation, at this price point, you're not going to get the best quality photos. But it really surprised me how well this camera did in the pretty much everyday use in terms of a budget smartphone. It really hit all the points you'd want in a smartphone. But I'm curious to know what you think. Leave a comment in that comment section below. I am curious to know. So please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's a device or something out there you think I should review. I'll do my best to try to make that happen. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and on Twitter and our website, AMDtechreviews.com. So until next time, this is Andrew from AMD Tech. See ya.